Imagine the following situation. You work for a language institute, a language center, and you have to follow a program, teacher's guides. And then one day, you have to teach a group of pre-intermediate students a lesson in which the communicative objective is to tell someone about past events in their lives. The program you're following asks you to teach the students the past tense and the past progressive and perfect aspects. As an experienced teacher, you go into the classroom and you teach the lesson. You teach a standard PPP lesson, just like you learn in the SALTA. You clarify meaning, pronunciation, and form of the past tense and both the aspects, progressive and perfect. You give students practice activities, they perform well, and everything seems fine. However, at the end of the lesson, when students are supposed to make use of the target language freely to achieve that communicative objective, they only rely on the past simple. Has that ever happened to you? My point is, to what extent exactly do we use the past perfect aspect anyway? I'm a non-native teacher, and I must confess, I chose this topic, this specific example, for a reason. While I was a student, I remember that one day I had a lesson, a good one really, and I was always that kind of student who left the classroom and left the room and wanted to use what I'd learned. However, I couldn't.
Why? Well, the past perfect is too specific. It happens in regular speech, but not too often. Additionally, it can be very easily avoided if we simply use the words before and then in a sentence. It took me a while to master that. I think I just don't believe that some things, such as the past perfect, need overt focus, especially at some level.
And much less if you're expecting them to grasp the meaning, form, and pronunciation of one tense and two aspects in one lesson.
Don't take me wrong, it is important to study and learn it, and it has its place. Nevertheless, is it a good idea to focus on 3 past tenses in one lesson with pre-intermediate learners?
I think you will agree with me that there are many instances of things like that happen. In this specific case of the past perfect, it is possible that you have a group in which there are students who haven't yet mastered the past simple, for example, and now they're confronted with the past simple tense and then 2 aspects of past. And that may feel like you're bombarding them. They might feel bombarded with information. First, I think it is very positive that a lesson is cognitively challenging for the students. However, we do need to think of the feasibility of things. Is it possible? Is it attainable? Can the students actually achieve that goal? Realistic goals, that's what I mean.
In How to Teach Grammar, Thornbury gives us an example of a lesson on how not to teach the past perfect, and right after that, he goes on to provide us with a set of rules about the teaching of grammar. These are the 3 rules. The rule of use: teach grammar in order to facilitate the learner's comprehension and production of real language, rather than an end in itself. Always provide opportunities for learner to put the grammar to some communicative use.
The second rule is the rule of economy. And this rule is intertwined with the first one, because in order to achieve that rule of use, we should be economical. That's basically talking about our language presentations, especially if you're thinking of a PPP lesson or any framework in which you have a language presentation. Being economical means shorter language presentations and more time for practice. And now you can think with me, if you were talking about a lesson that has 3 grammatical topics, you're dealing with 1 tense, 2 aspects, and how long is that language presentation going to be?
And 3, the rule of relevance. Teach only the grammar that the students have a problem with. This means start off by finding out what they already know. And don't assume that the grammar of English is a wholly different system from the learner's mother tongue. Exploit the common ground.
I value Thornbury's thinking, not only because it's applicable, but also because I think it caters for the students' needs in the first place. Okay, so maybe some teachers out there might be thinking, yeah, but at this level, you're teaching them, but you're only expecting that the student's gonna grasp the meaning and not really be able to use those tenses or aspects of grammar that you just taught them.
And to that argument, I'd ask, as far as grammar tenses and aspects go, is it really possible for an average pre-intermediate to grasp the differences in meaning of these 3 verb tenses and aspects in one lesson? Or is it better to reduce the amount of information that they can in one lesson and maybe teach only 2 of those aspects in comparison to one another? So let's be practical. If you're a CELTA holder, you're probably familiar with the concept of MFP, meaning, pronunciation, and form. So if you were to teach 3 aspects in one lesson, how long would a language presentation take? Doesn't sound very realistic, does it? To me, it feels like I'm bombarding students with information. Also, if you want to use a more inductive approach so as to maximize students' cognitive effort, wouldn't that language presentation take even longer? Basically, when I think about some of the things I see in some syllabuses, and then I think about my students, I just think that these syllabuses do not cater for my students' needs and definitely do not respect their learning pace. While they're very useful if you still need guidance or if you're not sure what your students of certain levels should be studying, they won't provide you with realistic goals for your students. That's when I like to consider Thornbury's rules.
So this is it on this topic, and I would like to know your opinion about that. Does that happen to you? Has it happened to you? The thing about teaching something that you think that you feel is unattainable to in a specific group or to a specific level? And how did you deal with it? Let us know in the comments. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do it. And we're testing new formats in the channel. So if you like this new format, also let us know in the comments. Thank you very much.